Hello, I'm Jeri, and we're back again today with Vincent Zwilling. Vincent is a marketing leader with Scrips, a company he has led in the field of sales and supply chain for over 17 years, generating $250 million in the last 3 years. Vincent, thanks for taking the time to join us today to make an impact. So let's begin. Vincent, have you had any obstacles in the LAIR area, listen, acknowledge, explore, and respond? And would you take time to share them? And how did you overcome them? How did you turn things around?
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Professor Schultz. Appreciate you having me here today. And yes, over the sales seasons, we've definitely ran into obstacles. So even trying to leverage the LAIR method and ensuring that we're prepared, we've ran into hiccups, right? Those can be technology related. Unfortunately, when you get on that Microsoft Teams meeting or your WebEx and the screen doesn't show, or the most important presenter isn't connected, right? In preparation, we've ran into challenges there. We've ran into challenges with meetings running over certain time slots, meetings getting crunched on time slots, basically things that are out of your control. But ultimately, as a sales leader, you need to ensure you're prepared for those obstacles. We've also had a situation where we met with a group in Dallas, Texas area, a brand that all you listeners are probably familiar with, where as we entered the room, we knew we were not going to win the business. One individual that we were trying to sell through, right? So our buyer ultimately decided from the minute we were there that they were unengaged, uninterested in what we were selling, and that throughout the presentation, they were going to talk down to our employees. Myself as a sales leader, thought about the situation, how to leverage to be professional. So ultimately, during that conversation, I paused. I reminded him that we all traveled in. We take these meetings very serious. We leverage the LAIR method. We've done our homework on LinkedIn. We've done our homework going through their financial statements, their operating, understanding how they do business, how we could potentially partner. We've showed up prepared. I've acknowledged that. And ultimately, during that meeting, I sat there and said, we understand that you don't want us here today. We have a certain level of mutual respect that we would appreciate. If you're interested in this conversation today, let's have it. If you're not, let's save you the time and energy. Let's save my team the time and energy, and maybe we'll meet one day in the future. So ultimately, I think it's coming prepared and being ready for any obstacle that might come in your way.
Excellent example. Vince, share ways that you and your organization recognize and reward success.
Awesome. Well, we don't do the jobs for fun, do we?
No, we don't.
So fortunately for Scrips, I feel like we have very strong recognition programs. So those come in a variety of forms. We have recognition perks. So when an individual goes above or beyond, you can send points to him or her where they can buy, certain products. They could buy restaurant gift cards. They could, travel. That's one component. In terms of high performers, we have options for additional stock, additional bonus, additional compensation, ways to move up, through the corporate ladder. We have a Diamond Award, so one of our highly distinguished awards for our highest performers. What I love is it's not just sales, it's the folks that I call the smartest people in the room that help us sell. So those are 100, 150 people that, potentially the highest performers in a large organization. So the Diamond Award ultimately is the highest achievement.
That's outstanding. Vince, if you would, please share a story you have used to build a great sales conversation.
Absolutely. So we love storytelling in sales. We love to hear ourselves talk. So one of the things that we've incorporated throughout our presentations over the years is a patient journey. We all agree that healthcare is complex. It's hard to navigate, right?
Yes.
So when we've gone into a presentation, we've put ourselves as a lens, assuming Professor Schultz, you're the buyer. You're responsible for a 30,000 life group for them achieving their pharmacy benefits. So from the minute they go to a retail pharmacy, from the minute they go to a prescriber, physician, how do they get that medication? How do they afford it? Ultimately making those decisions on behalf of a large population. So what we've done is we've really tried to storytell and tell the actual journey of a member. So what does it look like when you see that physician? They hand you that physical prescription. Now, mostly it's through electronic medical records submitted through EMRs. How does that get to your Walgreens, your Schnucks, your grocery setting? what does it look like for that member? Maybe that's a single mother or single father that they have a financial burden that they can't obtain that prescription. Is there funding? Is there assistance? Ultimately, what we've done is we've done an end-to-end journey when we storytell to prospective buyers on what does it look like in a life for their member to see all the complexities and challenges that are faced and how we can partner together to make those more streamlined.
Wow. Vince, what are some of the ways you have recognized others for a job well done? Which one has been the most successful for you?
Yes. So always have to take care of the team. You know, it's a team effort, just like any sport, any competition. You know the life of sales. You've lived it in your past experience as well. So for me, I try to understand the individual, because a bottle of wine or a bottle of bourbon might look different than a city ticket, you know, go take your family here, a travel gift card. Maybe it's an email to their leadership recognizing, maybe I'm going through the point system and saying, you know, him or her did an extraordinary job, trying to, you know, send them kudos their way. And ultimately what I'm trying to do in a mentor capacity is I want to enable those folks to move up in the organization.
Yes.
So some of my most successful recognition to say, I'm going to hate to lose you, but ultimately you're going to do better in this role. I want to succeed, I see you succeed, and try to get him or her to that next level.
That's excellent. Thank you. Lastly, I wanted to ask you one final question. What's one piece of advice that has helped you the most?
Yes. So I would tell the listeners in our audience and the folks in the room here, what I've learned from a good mentor over the years and being successful in sales, it's always better to say, nice to see you again versus nice to meet you. Always need to be out present in the field, establishing networks, whether that's through LinkedIn, other social media outlets, whether it's through, you know, different type of meeting groups. Always leverage your connections, which you've done well over the years. Build that network, because one day you might be working for him or her, or one day her or him might be working for you.
Vincent, thank you for joining us today to help us to make an impact. On behalf of our students and St. Charles Community College faculty, thank you for partnering with us. To our audience, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your time and commitment to St. Charles Community College. Keep checking in for our newest episodes and have an awesome rest of your day. Remember, be bold, be confident, and be extraordinary.
Thank you, Professor Schultz. It was an honor.
Thank you.